So you're considering rearing backyard chickens. Let me just give you a few tips in this video on things to think about and things to do when you have your layers in your small backyard space. First thing to consider when thinking about raising backyard chicken, you must think about regulations, where you're living, how many chicken, the load that you can carry, whether you can carry a rooster or not, and any other rules that govern your particular location. The next thing you have to consider when thinking about backyard chicken is your coop. The option of coops, they are very broad. You can go the prefab way, which can range from anywhere from about $700. I've seen coops as expensive as $10,000, so it can be very expensive to go the prefab way. The argument about it is predator proof. However, you can do your own DIY coop and make it predator proof, because I've done such for under $500. If you're going to go about the DIY way on building your coop, when building your coop, please avoid chicken wire. Try to use something like what you see I have here. This here is a 19 gauge hardware cloth, and it is most suitable for doing your chicken coop, even your chicken run. When building your chicken coop, the aim is to keep out predator. The aim is not to keep your chickens in. As long as you can keep out predators, the chickens won't get out. But if you aim only to keep your chicken in, when a large predator comes by, they will be able to get into your coop. Hence, I say avoid chicken wires and those much flimsier wire. To keep my chicken run here predator proof, with this hardware cloth that I use here, I come down and I dig a hole and then have a trench, and I bend the cloth, this hardware cloth, all the way out to about here. So it's about 18 inches out on the ground, away from the coop. That will help with digging predators not to be able to bypass and get inside my run. Ensure that you have proper ventilation. Ensure that there is proper airflow going through your coop. This will help with a lot of things. It will help to keep your chickens healthier. If you have any moisture problem within the coop, you have that airflow, which can help to dry it out at times. So ensure that you have proper ventilation for your chicken coop. When doing your chicken night house, ensure that the bedding is deep enough. My bedding inside here is about 6 to 8 inches deep in certain areas. I'm not sure how good it's showing now because of the rays from the sunlight, but I hope it turns out well. So the bordering is 8 inches high, and I just packed it in. I clean this once a year, but the beauty of this thing is you don't have to come in and stir it very regular. Next thing, ensure that it doesn't get wet. If you want to keep a smell-free chicken coop, ensure that your living house where the chickens come into at night doesn't get wet any at all. In a chicken coop with larger size birds like what I am rearing here, these are Buff Orpingtons. They are like a dual purpose breed, you can call them. You're going to be needing about 4 square feet per bird. However, there's a trick when it comes to square footage and birds, and I'm going to explain that right after this. For smaller type birds, like your bantam breeds, you're gonna need about 2 square feet per bird, because bantam can get real small, so they're going to need less space for perches or for roosting sticks. For your larger birds, you're going to need about 9 inches per bird. Smaller birds, bantam breeds again, we're going to be looking at about 4 to 6 inches per bird for your bantam. So when we talk about square footage, down here, this entire area here, that's under my chicken coop, and that's also a part of my chicken run. And it continues about another 15 feet behind my shed. So it's a long run. However, when some people are measuring the square footage for your chicken coop, they only measure the ground space. But you have to put into consideration everywhere that is livable for the chicken becomes a part of the square footage. So I have a living house up top there. That's where the chickens sleep at night. So they would go into the living house where I'll close the door and they'll stay there on roost for the night. It's above this run area down here. So I calculate both together to get all my square footage. Also, you can calculate perches and all those other areas that the chicken will occupy, because that is extra space for your chickens. On a daily basis, check on your birds to ensure that they are in good health. Just take some time out to go around the coop or the run, look at them, look who is acting in a weird manner or not, and just keep an eye out on your birds on a regular basis. You don't want one of your birds to be sick and you find out way too late. When building your chicken coop, I don't hear a lot of farmers or chicken rearer talking about it, but you need a quarantine space for your chickens. If or when you should have sick chickens, you need to separate them from your flock. So ensure to just get a quarantine area for your chicks. This here is my simple chicken feeder. It holds up to 25 pounds of feed, and this will run your chickens for a long while. They don't waste a lot from it, but I don't know if there's a feeder that your chicken won't waste feed from. So just look for one that minimize spillage and go for it. This one has been working good so far. Chicken water, I keep a simple chicken water. I'm only running 10 hens, so this is good enough for them. This is a 3-gallon water container, and this is quite good enough if you're just running a small system. If you're considering a big operation with maybe 30 or 50 chicken, maybe you can think otherwise. But small backyard egg-laying chickens, 8 to 10 chickens, go simple, go easy, save your money. The chickens don't need much more than this. Feed and nutrition, this is going to be a big debate, but I'll just keep it simple. If you're doing a small space backyard chicken rearing like I am doing, you can go for your regular pellet from your feed store. If you're going to go ahead and have a rooster, please listen me out on this one. If you're going to go ahead and have a rooster, you really don't need a stimulant for your chicken to have eggs, to lay eggs. However, if you're going to go the natural way and just feed, whether it be corn, kitchen scrap, worms, just regular natural things, grains that chicken would eat, you can have a rooster. A lot of talk about roosters have been going around, and I hear that the only reason to have a rooster is for egg fertility, and that is so wrong. The rooster stimulates egg laying, so if you don't have a rooster, you're going to need that medicated feed to stimulate those hens to lay. If you have a rooster, the rooster itself can stimulate the hens to lay, and it also fertilizes the eggs, so you can have more babies if you put out your chickens to hatch them out. for the amount of hens to rooster, you will see online that they are telling you that it's about 8 to 10 hen per roosters. But I think the perfect amount of hen to rooster is about 15 hens per rooster. Then your rooster won't be stressing out your hens. It is best to have a stressed rooster than to have stressed hens, because you want eggs. That is what you really want. So if you have a rooster, try to put at least 15 hens with your rooster, no less. Yes, it can be less, but some of them are going to get real stressed. My chicken, they get a lot of sunflower seed and other grains that are left over from my birds. And in my situation, I don't need to buy expensive treat for my chicken because this is their treat. Sunflower seed, peanuts, and all these other things. Cashew is in it, almond, so they get a whole lot of this stuff on a daily basis. But there are a few things that I want to clear up on nutrition because it's kind of confusing. Whether it's from what chickens can eat to what chickens can't eat. For calcium retention in birds, all birds need protein to retain calcium, and chicken, they are no different. So when you have your chicken and you're buying all these expensive shells and everything with those calcium in it, it makes no sense if the bird is not getting enough protein, or else that calcium won't be absorbed in the bird system. It will just flow right through. So ensure your bird is getting enough protein. This is the leftovers from the birds. I'm going to give this to the chicken, and this is a treat, as I said before. When feeding treat, I try to spread the treat in the run so that the chicken have more space to shuffle and disturb the soil inside of the run. I have a single chicken in here that I haven't put with the bigger ones as yet. And I just go ahead and give her some treat too. Whatever she spills will fall down and they will eat it off the floor of the run. For most parts, chickens will eat every and anything, not meaning that you're going to give your chicken every and anything, but I just want to explain a few things that I hear that chicken cannot eat, which needs to be explained just a little bit more. It is not wrong, however, it needs to be explained. It is like the argument that mosquitoes are more dangerous than lions because they kill more people on a yearly basis. However, if given the choice, which one would you rather be locked in a room with, a mosquito or a lion? You answer that question. Number one, I've been hearing that apple seed has in cyanide and it will harm your bird. Yes, cyanide will harm your bird. However, there is a component in apple seed that is called amygdalin. It can be broken down into cyanide, but that is just not enough cyanide to harm your birds. Your chicken would have to be in a lab for them to give that chicken thousands of apple seed for the amygdalin to release enough cyanide to harm your chicken. So I'm not telling you to go out and give your chickens apple seed, but if your chicken eats a few apple seed, there's no need for you to worry. Okay? So don't get panicked by the information that are out there that are not being explained correctly. And to just clear up one more thing, amygdalin that is found in apple seed, it is vitamin B17, I think, and it is used in a lot of countries, especially third world countries to help with cancer. I'm not going to say it cure cancer, but it is used to help with cancers in those countries. However, in the US, it is not being used because it is not approved by the FDA. So look at it again. Next one is plants from the nightshade family. These are plants like tomatoes, peppers, maybe sweet potatoes, and even eggplants. These are all plants from the nightshade family. The next call for these plants is that they give your chicken gastrointestinal diseases, and it also can kill them. Yes, it can give them gastrointestinal diseases. Again, how much do they have to consume to get gastrointestinal diseases from these nightshade plants? It is going to have to be a ton. It will have to be so much that maybe a chicken can't even digest it. So whilst it can, we go back to the mosquito and the lion argument. So don't let fear drive you from not raising your chicken or even letting out your chicken into your garden to eat bugs some of the time. Don't let that fear drive you away. It is information that is not being explained. Also ensure to give your chicken a bit of rough edge or grit, meaning sand or anything of the sort, so that they can have to pick at. It helps with gut health and also digestion. If you can see this hen here, she's all the way digging down. This helps to keep away bugs and other insects from off the chicken, and it also helps to keep the chickens cool. I must tell you guys something about eggs again. When you're picking up your eggs, if you're not going to put them in the refrigerator and you're going to be keeping them outside, it is best for you not to wash your eggs. The eggs has a coating on them that will preserve them and keep them. So if you go ahead and wash that coating off, you will have to refrigerate them to preserve those eggs. There are many breeds of chicken with different temperament. Don't let anyone tell you that all chickens are the same. They are totally different personality. Even within breeds, different temperament. You have to do your research to choose the correct chicken for you and your family. So no matter the color of your chicken eggs, whether they are brown, white or purple, they all taste the same. The difference is how these eggs were being produced, what's inside of them. Knowing what's inside of your egg is all that matters. So I hope you guys got something from this little chick chat today. That's it from Country Morrow. God bless y'all. See you in the next one. Cheers.